We're here with Sue Cantrell at Roundabout Books in Troy, Ohio, and this place is haunted. We're here to check this out, and we're going to let you know what we find. Why do you think this place is haunted?
I've seen the ghost.
Is it a guy? Is it a girl?
Yes. No, well, actually, we have one of each. What? So we do have a man, and we do have a woman, and we have seen a small boy.
Is that period, are they dressed in old clothes? Or?
Yes. I've seen him on several occasions. I've seen him upstairs. At that time, it was more just a shadowy figure that went across, but I've actually seen him standing downstairs right across the counter, and he was dressed in a long black cloak, tall gentleman, and had a green hat on, of all things.
Is it a tall hat? Or?
No, it was more of a flat hat that he had on. He had on a white shirt, ruffled at the neck, ruffled at the end of the sleeves. I could not see his face, but he was very distinct. And this happened on 2 separate occasions at the same time, about 7:45 in the evening, which is about 15 minutes before close. Mm-hmm. And I had come back for closing. Mike was working. And I came in and I said, "Who was the gentleman you were talking to?" And he looked at me and he said, "Susie, there hasn't been anybody in the store in the last 20 minutes. I said, "Mike, there was a gentleman standing here." And he says, "No, no." And I described him. He said, "There's been no one in the store whatsoever." 2 separate occasions I've seen him do that. And it was just like he was having a conversation with Mike.
The cold spots, you noticed any cold spots in here?
There's a couple cold spots. There's one upstairs in the sci-fi room, and it's an area that does get really cold more than any other place in the store. Now, granted, the store is air conditioned, but the air conditioning unit's not there in that room.
Okay.
The worst experience I had was the first time I really, truly encountered him. The previous owner and I were changing light bulbs upstairs in the literature room, and it was a beautiful day, just like it is right now, and her and I were the only ones in the store, and she was up on the ladder and I was holding it for her because we have like 4 and 8 foot, 12 foot long light bulbs that have to be changed. So she was changing the light bulb and she goes, "Sue, did you see that?" And there had been a shadow that had went across the window of the literature room, or of the mystery room, excuse me. It went from that room to the second mystery room and came through and came right at me, and just like it went right through me and hit me in my right arm. My arm actually felt a lot of pain and I stumbled, and Debbie got down and she goes, "Sue, are you okay?" And I said, "No, I need to sit down." And tears came in my eyes. I said, "He went through me." I actually felt it go right through me. And that was the worst experience I had with him. So he scared me a little bit there.
Well, as you can see, Sue's a believer, and we're going to go inside here and check this out. We have the psychics in there right now, and hopefully Patrick has picked up some sort of phenomenon that we're going to look forward to catching this particular time. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with Patrick and the psychic. Sue, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So it's still more than full.
Yeah, that's what I said. Just lean against the wall, you'll see it. It's
Is the light on or off when you guys came up?
It's off.
Well, that was off.
Okay.
We turned them on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he decided to turn them on Friday night after we closed.
Okay, well, I'm going, is this door unlocked, you say?
Mike went to go get a key.
Yeah, okay, I want.
That takes you out onto the second floor.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, it's like the mezzanine area back here.
So, we won't.
Are you experiencing heaviness?
Heaviness in the world, they're kicking my butt. I mean, there's more than heaviness there. It's like they're trying to get me to let one of them in so they can say something, but I'm not going to do that. It's this hallway out here.
Mike,
They roam this area quite often. They not only haunt your room. These are other offices and things like that.
We've had people from
Actually,
say things.
actually, you got, they probably get a present. It's like a portal or whatever, and they also, see, the thing is, she took that way. I took this way because I was getting, as I was walking up, I was getting these feelings, and it was actually kicking me back. And then partway up the thing, I felt the cold spot, she felt the dizziness. But this is like interconnecting corridors. She went that way, I went this way, straight down the hallway, that area. Let's go down where she was. I'm just curious.
But it's like a passageway that people
Like a portal?
want, yeah.
Yeah, that's what Mary was saying.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna continue to walk back this
See
way.
what you can pick up right by, as you come through the
Right
door,
in
there was
through
not,
here.
yeah.
It's like something's taking my breath. Just, my chest is heavy. Feel like a feeling of, like I want to throw up or something, just very, very ill. Whatever is here is very strong and very heavy. You have so much energy here of death in this building. Not, you know, there's some happiness of laughter and child's play and children, but it wasn't just the older people that died. Children died here as well, and their spirits and their mothers. And I heard wailing and crying of mother and stuff downstairs. I could hear them crying. This is very heavy over in here, but for me, where it hit me the most was when I came in over here. So I'd like to go back to this area. It's like, okay, it's like someone has a hold of me. Okay, why don't you take my picture and see if we can get anything with that. It's like someone's messing with my hair, and I'm aware of this side of my body being touched and electricity, the energy. Even my hand feels like it's getting needles in it.
No, you're not going to do it to me, okay? He's, whatever spirits, they've kind of singled me out because they realize who and what I have been over the past years. Yeah, but it's this room. Yeah, this room here, that room didn't excite me, this room did. I know that haunting a bookstore, they're learning about their past, okay? A lot of them are, okay?
You're here for the
Yeah, they're here to document their particular periods and everything else. Plus, there's some of them that I think delved in different arts, supernatural arts, and they love science fiction and things like that, you know.
Look at the book.
Yeah, I know. They're all different types. But they have to do with the supernatural and science fiction and things like that. So, yeah. Some of them are boning up on certain things, but
It's not as bad out here.
well, this room here, yeah.
That it's like they hid people in this building to keep them from being hurt. And so people were hiding out here. And, you know, families lived here. And, you know, so it was more than just a store and a doctor's office and stuff like that. I even feel like that they'd even had like a grocery store here at one time. It's like in some areas too, you get a feeling of like it's a holding place where they held things or they kept things, you know, stored things. I'm not sure, like a holding space. And I don't know if they held people here. I just feel like that there's been many different things that's happened in this building. And I think that the one part, which will later lead down to the basement, ended up being the morgue, but they moved them from that one space down to the other. But that's what my feeling is. It's very much a feeling of a holding area. Like I said, there's just so much activity and so many spirits, a lot more than 3. I believe the woman who is with me is a widow, and she has I think 1 to 2 children. Very sense children.
As I pulled up, I had looked inside the store, which I do always, and I saw a gentleman standing in the exact spot where I am right now. And he was facing towards Mike, and I thought the two of them were having a conversation. When I turned off the key, got out of the car, there was no one standing here then. That's when I had come in and asked Mike, you know, who's the gentleman you were just talking to? No, Susie, there hasn't been no one in the store for 20 minutes. This happened on 2 separate occasions.
Okay, so there's actually 3 ghosts here. 3 orbs. So you have a man, a woman, and a child.
The child's just become known in the last couple of months. I did not know that there was a child here. And
Have you done any research on all the owners, all the?
Could it be a family?
I don't think so, because there's been so many different businesses. I mean, there has been, at one time, that side over there was a drugstore. This over here was a shoe store for many, many years. That side again was a beauty shop at one time. The doctor's office upstairs. And then the whole thing was a big, huge store, huge shoe store. Matter of fact, the director of Troy Main Street worked in this when it was a shoe store back when he was in high school. He had an encounter with the ghost here, the one that's downstairs. Yeah, that back wall back there was open, and there was like a banister type where it was all open to go downstairs. And he had encounters downstairs in the basement. And they used to kind of make fun of him and go, oh, well, I guess you did inquire a ghost. I can feel the energy. And I can tell that he's...
See, yes, all I do is I'll hear something moving and look.
I can tell
and
he's very
shaking and-
close. He has been, now he gave Mike and I a good scare a while back. It was at closing time, and I had come back in the store, and we were working on some books right over in the romance section. And I was sitting on the bench, and I was putting books away. And we could hear somebody walking upstairs. And I said, Mike, how many customers do we have left in the store? He said, I think there's at least 1 or 2. I said, okay. So we just kept working because we were shifting things around. We got to looking at the clock, and it was like 10 after 8. And I said, why don't you run upstairs and see if there's anything we can do to help them? And that way we can tell them that, you know, we've already closed.
Right.
So Mike went upstairs, came back down, and said, Susie, there's no one up there. I'm like, okay. So we went ahead and finished up. I said, okay, well, we'll close. About the time I said close, we heard stomp, stomp, stomp. I'm like, somebody's up there. They're toying with you. He went back upstairs again, came back down. He said, there is no one up there. I said, did you check every room up there? Because we have one room that you can go into. It's just a storage room right now. We're going to turn it into another room later. And I said, did you check to see if anybody went in there? Kids will play pranks if they can. So he went ahead, went back up. No. I said, okay, let's close. I said, go on upstairs, turn the lights out. I'll start closing out the register. Came back down. Mike was as white as a sheet. He goes, he's followed me. I'm like, what? He goes, he followed me. And I'm like, no. So I said, okay. And all of a sudden, I got ready to come around the counter. I said, we're both going to go up there. I heard step, step, step. I'm like, okay. So I went to the steps, and we flipped on the light, and I go, look, I'm coming upstairs. You got your choice. Either let me close the store down or go away. Got up there, and it was like this cold breeze come right up to us. I'm like, okay, what's this about? So we went upstairs, and we did a form. We have a format, and you have to follow when you open and you close the upstairs. If not, he turns the lights on. So we went ahead, and we went through every single room, and we could feel there was a cold breeze, and it was not hot enough to where you would feel air conditioning or anything like that. And I mean, it was cold. I was shivering. And I'm like, he is actually following me. And we got to the back around to the top of the stairs at the landing, and this breeze came through, and I said, okay, that's it. I'm out of here. I've had enough for one night. And I said, you can do what you want. I'm going home. Good night. Flipped off the lights, and we left.
You hadn't actually seen him, but you felt.
For me, it was more, well, the first thing was I smelled